And we are live. Ascension eSports Dragon League. About to get into a match right now. We have Free Baron versus Team Chemistry. I'm your caster, Decerux, back after a small little hiatus heading over to Anime Expo. Got back from that, followed by my co-caster, the legend himself, Southern Decadence, Dezdan. How are you doing today, Dezdan?
I can't complain myself. Yeah, last week was a little bit unfortunate. We didn't get to cast, but good to be back here. Sometimes a break's needed. Sometimes it helps out. But hopefully we'll see a good set of games today.
Absolutely, and yes, we are starting this off with the teams we said earlier. Free Baron, Team Chemistry. One thing to point out, on the side of Team Chemistry, they do have one of the more veteran players of Ascension eSports, and that is the Color C. And we're going to head into Champion Select right now.
Yeah, I actually prepared stats this time, funny enough. But looking at the looking at the stats, yeah, Chemistry actually last week had some fairly solid individual performances, with standouts being the Color C and Rackham Razor. Color C ranked third in stats overall in week 3, according to the data done by our stats team. Shout out to them for the work that they do. However, looking at team-wide stats, we have an interesting situation with Free Baron actually having slightly overall higher team stats compared to that of Chemistry, with Team Baron actually having a fairly high total KDA of 5.5 compared to just a 2.2 over Team Chemistry. Also to note, Team Free Baron actually had 20 tower kills in their 2 games, compared to 9 of Team Chemistry there, and Chemistry actually playing 3 games and only taking 9 towers. That's impressive, to say the least. But yeah, there's my little spiel that I had prepared.
And we are having a little bit of technical difficulties as person who made the room made it in blind pick.
Oh,
God
no.
bless. But we are getting reinvited. We are getting that situation sorted out. Be back into the game in just a moment. Get into an actual champion select.
Maybe.
Okay, trying to fix out this issue with the mic.
That's what you get for using 2 microphones.
Don't blame the 2 microphones now.
I blame whatever I want to blame. I am a toxic caster, I swear.
Here we go. Here we go. So we're almost sorted out. We're almost about to get into the game. Also, still trying to figure this out.
Set it to Wumbo. Did you try plugging it in?
I have no idea.
Are we good to give them the ready to start the game?
Yeah, we are ready. Just having such weird issues right now. We are getting into Champion Select at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to figure out this microphone situation. But yeah, let's get into this. Free Baron versus Team Chemistry.
So if only one ear is working, why don't you put the microphone on the other side of your face? That way that counteracts it. That's the thing, right?
Oh, I'm just mixing this down to mono. I think that should fix it. All right, is this better?
I'm sorry.
Are we good now?
That was as bad as I am at League of Legends.
Okay,
hey.
Putting it to mono worked.
Alright, glad we got that resolved in a fairly timely manner.
So now, less attention on the microphone, more attention on the picks and bans that are about to come through, or lack of ban, as we do see a ban forfeited on the side of Team Chemistry.
Always unfortunate when you have to forfeit a ban, but it is what it is.
Now, getting into the fourth, this is where it really starts to matter. Like, you can have a bad early end of the season and still come out on top. I mean, we've seen teams do it in the LCS. We've seen teams do it in Ascension eSports. But right here is where the race for playoffs really does begin. You get the first ban to come out. That's going to be a Zac ban on the side of Team Chemistry.
Yeah, your first couple of weeks are where you kind of sort out all your stuff. You assign lane, or rather you work on strategies and things like that. But now this is where it matters. Like you said, this is where you start to see who's on top, who's towards the bottom, who's going to be gearing up for those playoff spots. And hopefully one of these two teams might make it in. You never know.
Yeah, and that's the real thing when it comes to Team Chemistry, though. There's 0 and 3 right now. They're desperately season around, because at this rate, it's really easy to get knocked out of playoffs if you're going without wins for this long. Meanwhile, on the side of Free Baron, they're 2-1 right now, so they're not doing so badly. They're keeping hopes up. They're keeping hopes alive. They've only lost one game, looking to collect their third win and get into that second place spot. Who have Aatrox as a placeholder for the Caitlyn.
Glad you were told that. But okay, so we got Aatrox or Caitlyn. Kind of funny to see a lot of jungler focus from the side of, I believe that's Chemistry. Yeah, barely targeting the pool of, I'm assuming, Nyoto. Is that how you say it?
Yodo. That's
yeah,
how
so
I would say it.
It'll be interesting to see what jungler actually does get pulled out.
So we are looking to get more picks. Have the Alawi picked up as well as the Kha'Zix. Now, this is an interesting comp so far on the side of Free Baron, as they have Caitlyn, Alawi, and Kha'Zix. Not something you would really synergizing together in a team composition.
Yeah, it's on top of that, it's all AD right now, and curious to see how that plays out. But like you said, there's no real synergy that I see screaming at me right now. You got Alawi who goes in. Generally, she likes to have somebody with her to kind of help soak up a little bit, but she goes in, does a lot of damage, and you got Kha'Zix on the side who's wanting to pick up a lot of resets and kills and assassinate somebody. Then you got Caitlyn who's way in the back, just kind of pummeling. So I guess it can work out, but might be difficult for them to pull off into a team fight stage.
Yeah, most definitely, especially when you haven't established true frontline. I mean, you do have Alawi, but Alawi is more of that 5v5 brawler. No one's going to really try and frontline unless they get her out of the... But meanwhile, on the side of Team Chemistry, they are going with a composition that is very interesting. There's a lot of power in the bot lane, a lot of kill potential in the bot lane, as well as one of the best early game junglers that is currently in the meta, and that would be, which is hit or miss, and I know you do have a bit of disdain for it.
Not so much anymore. I kind of learned to accept Elise into my life. She's definitely a strong jungler. I'm not necessarily a fan of her in lower elos, but it's been done right. And when it is done right, it can be extremely effective, especially early game. She has quite the potent combo. Level 3, her ganks are fairly strong, as I've seen you play her quite often.
Oh, babies. Broken. Yeah, damn right. I do love me some
Oh,
Elise.
gosh.
Absolutely. One of my favorite junglers. It took me forever to really get the hang of that junk, but yeah, it has a lot of potency. But we are getting into the second wave of bans now. Have Anami and Astra banned out on the side of Team Chemistry. And the Garen pick of all. How's Free Baron lost all their bans? Is that what I'm getting here?
I see no bans on my screen. Yeah. We'll see. I wonder if that Garen's actually a Garen. Garen into allow it. I don't know how that matchup goes at all. I've not exactly seen that before.
On an off note, for those of you who just made that complaint, bam, there it is. Team names, champ select. There we go. Yeah, Thresh picked up and Orianna picked up. And Thresh right now is like taking a huge resurgence at us, and Blitzcrank as well. More of those hook champions. They're doing quite well in the meta, and what they offer is just the ability to both, specifically Thresh, the ability to both have the potential really strong engagement, as well as jungler to lantern it, have that happen, as well as some disengage and protection. And we are going to have
the Caitlyn has to be, the Caitlyn has to be picked up. But yeah, like you said, the Thresh Blitzcrank making resurgences, and I'm honestly so happy. Like, I love support, but just playing the boring shielding supports, that's no fun. I want to do stuff. I want to play that Thresh. I want to play that Blitzcrank. I want to feel like I'm making a difference instead of just passively buffing up an AD carry. I want to do stuff, but you know, I don't know. It just I enjoy whenever Thresh is in meta. He's by far my favorite character.
I can't really say this. Some of the better Thresh gods out there, some of the Mad Lives, if you will. Oh, goodness. It's either hit or miss for most players. I feel like Thresh really well, or you Adam.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes with people overthinking hooks, I think. But that's I could rant on that for several hours, and we'd still be here bored to death.
I think the best way to summon something you say all the time, and it's sometimes the best hook, one that's not thrown at all.
Yep. It's weird to say, but body language, I guess you could say, in League of Legends means so much. And just, in the words of Aframa, just have presence in the lane. I mean, all you gotta do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm gonna get into the actual champ select now, as we did have to have a redraft because Fox was a player or Caitlyn. But it makes me wonder now, because Free Baron, they have a good record so far. They are 2-1. Their composition seemed spotty, to say the least. Are they just... Do they have that much raw play potential, raw skill in their players? Or have they just gotten lucky?
Well, like I said, when I was looking at stats overall, Free Baron, they took 20-something towers in 2 games, whereas Chemistry took 9 in 3. So I'm not too sure as to what's going on with Team Chemistry, but Team Baron, Free Baron, gosh, that's going to be annoying. But so far, they've had a good showing. We'll have to see if that keeps up.
Yeah, we will have to see as we get into Champion Select for the last time. They are going to speed through these picks, get us right into the game. We do see the Aatrox band, and that's just for giggles. But we are going to see the true compositions these teams have drafted.
And in the words of our Alawi god, start Doran's blade, don't start Doran's shield, you kitty.
I shall endure.
So now there it is. The Alawi. And yeah, the Alawi god. Best Squidward Vietnam, otherwise known as La Blue Girl. We'll see if we can get that type of performance from Tobin. And that's the big thing about Alawi. It's a very... You got to be confident on that champion, because a lot of the plays you can make on Alawi are just from knowing how much strength you have and knowing that you can dedicate to some of the most ridiculous engages as long as you time everything right.
Yeah, many people have fallen victim to the tentacle slap and just underestimated the amount of survivability and sustain that Alawi brings to a fight. We just have to question whether or not this Alawi is going to be more useful in the middle of a fight than the Galio with all his CC and just kind of strong base
Your
damage.
emperor shall return.
Yeah, so we are powering through these picks and bans, and the composition by Free Baron, very iffy, but there is a lot of team fight potential there, to say the least. Meanwhile, on the side of Team Chemistry, who have not been doing well this season, looking to get their first win, has a composition that I actually kind of do like. They've gone with a Galio, which can make some interesting things happen. You could get a situation where Purring's in trouble and caught out, and use the hero's entrance along with the repel, get in the air, and it can make for some interesting engages, but the most interesting has to be the Twitch. You can go in stealth, hero's entrance in, what the hell, why is this Galio here, where's he coming from, who supported this? It could be interesting.
Basically a new take of the Twitch Shin that used to be a thing. Man, to bring in the stealth ninja.
Yeah, those were some good times. They still got the Shenvelin. Shenvelin
Yeah.
still exists.
I remember you and I used to run Oriana Rengar back in the day. Oh man, it's playing with stealth in this game so fun sometimes.
So yeah, now we are going to get through the spectator delay and get into game very soon. But, of course, for those of you just joining us, this is Ascension eSports Dragon League. This is an LCS-style tournament with a regular season and playoffs for players in bronze through silver. If you're interested in joining Ascension eSports, we have divisions for all elos, including Elder, which is gold through plat, and Phoenix, which is an open league, as well as an in-house rank ladder. So please check out the Discord, check out our subreddit. We hope to see you here soon.
Yep. You still got it.
Yeah, you gotta forgive me. I'm getting a little bit rusty right now. It's been like what, a week, a little bit over a week not casting, and then I come back to this new layout. I'm trying to figure out everything.
Yeah,
What
even
in
not
the world
just
happened?
casting, just a lack of League of Legends lately for us. It'll be fun. I've missed it.
Yeah. By the way, this game is sponsored by Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood, in stores now.
Well, that's where we've been for
Yeah.
the most part. We
Sellouts
can't
here.
lie. But honestly, I was really worried when we saw the Malawi, Caitlyn, and Kha'Zix in their first rotation, but picking up the Thresh and the Orianna does kind of seal up some of the cracks that Free Baron's team comp had. So I'm a little bit... I believe in the comp now more so than I did before. But a lot of it obviously does depending on how that shockwave is used, how those Thresh hooks are used. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. And yeah, I gotta ask the question as always, based on team composition alone, who do you see winning this and why?
I want to believe in Color C, but Color C is playing Victor, and I have a disdain for Victor right now. I used to play him a lot. And I'm a fan of the Thresh. I'm a fan of the Orianna. If the Alawi gets going, I think that can work out too. So I'm gonna put my faith in Free Baron.
I want to believe in Color C, and I'm gonna believe in Color C. I'm gonna go with Team Chemistry. I like the composition they drafted, even though Free Barons doesn't synergize as well. It has a lot of like single outplay potential, but I feel like you have more teamwork on the side of Team Chemistry in the way that you can use the grasping roots, in the way that you can use the Victor ultimate and the Galio ult as well, the hero's entrance. A lot of these synergize pretty well together. Just imagine you get the perfect Zyra ultimate, the Stranglethorns, and then here comes the hero's entrance. If you can get some of these layered, it's a pretty dank initiation, but then again, there's a lot of if factors in that. So I am taking Team Chemistry, but ooh, it has me nervous.
Yeah, I think these teams are both fairly evenly matched, so I think it won't be a stomp either way. But we'll see. Honestly, here at Ascension eSports, anything can happen.
And we are getting into the load screen, which now has our new load screen layout. God bless.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see it.
Keystones. And nothing out of the ordinary, really. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary to really comment on.
Yeah, Color C going for the Deathfire Touch. That's fairly common on Victors now. You're more about your kind of... even though Victor does... Yeah, I agree, it is kind of boring, but it definitely tones down some of the bursts that Victor can have. Thunderlords, obviously, it's fairly easy to proc on Victor, but we'll see. And I guess the fervor on Caitlyn is fairly strange. You often see them going for that Warlord's Bloodlust. That sustain cannot be not be taken lightly.
And excuse me while I fix those numbers. Okay, there we go. Ah, this new overlay really getting to me. But we are getting into the game now. Free Baron versus Team Chemistry. Let's get into the game, and right away we do see some possibly aggressive movements coming out from the side of Free Baron.
We do like to see those aggressive movements sometimes. It's always fun.
And let's face it, when you have a hook champion, there's a 80% chance they're going to go for an invade. In this case, they're not really going for it. Even though I would love to see it so badly.
I guess they wouldn't want to take the chance of face checking a Zyra. That could always spell disaster.
So nothing too much coming out. Should see Purring start blue buff. Meanwhile, on the side of Neodo, most likely going to be a red buff start.
We've been seeing that.
Raptors.
Yeah, we've been seeing that super start, quote unquote, that a lot of NA teams have been using. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's just going to be a straight up red buff start.
Yeah, straight up red buff. Nothing out of the ordinary. And I don't know, with Kha'Zix, I feel like it's almost mandatory that you take a buff start. Just because the isolation damage helps for the faster clear, especially when you get a leash.
That was some damage.
Ooh. Oh, pretty strong. Death Sentence lands onto Rackham. But some pretty good harassment overall. And already dropping down to almost half health.
That hurt me to watch. The Thresh tried to take a creep and not having the Flay extra damage, unfortunately missed it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's iffy. You do need the Flay damage if you're going to take, especially if you're taking the Relic Shield. And here goes the death sentence. Lands clutch, but misses the flay. Will they actually get the kill? Pocket Cookie may have overextended too far. Rackham looking to get as much damage as possible to Pocket Cookie. Does not get the kill, though. But so many summoners. We're both summoners on the side of Pocket Cookie. Meanwhile, only heal on the side of Rackham. Overall advantage to Team Chemistry.
That's unexcusable. If you're playing Thresh, you cannot land the miss the flay. That's Thresh 101 right there.
Yeah, and that's definitely not looking good, especially considering like how much they dedicated in terms of resources to that death sentence.
And Caitlyn not having that Warlords is going to have a tough time sustaining back up again and try to stay in this lane.
Yeah, but to the favor, that is a Doran's Blade. It does have some life still. Not the best of things. I mean, it's going to beat out Rackham's call in the early game, but that being said, why in the world does he have a call?
I don't know, man. You see some interesting thought processes whenever you get into these games.
I mean, that's the least to say. It's going against a pretty overall aggressive lane. It can work out, but I don't know, especially in Dragon League, where farming can be an issue sometimes, I really don't see a reason to take it.
I think it just speaks to confidence. I think he figures try to farm up and try to survive the lane against typically what would be a losing lane against a Caitlyn of all things, but hanging in there fine right now.
Yeah, and
I
really,
would like...
it's more towards a bad play is the reason why they're doing, like, it's the reason why they're existing in lane. It's just that one play did everything bad for them.
Yeah. I really want to point out that CS difference in top lane right now.
Oh, goodness. Tobin. He's...
That's pretty unexcusable. That's pretty unexcusable as a Gallia. He is by far one of the easiest champions to CS on, and that doesn't bode well.
And there we go. Death sentence used. They're trying to get the trap combo, and they land it. There's no flash on the side of the Zyra. Is he going to get away? One more auto. That's first blood. Now Rackham's a little bit caught out. Gets caught by the trap. Burns the flash. Low health. Only over 100, and he drops. Double kill picked up on the side of Pocket Cookies.
That's,
So we're talking about that call.
Yeah. I don't know how to justify that one. I'll just have to let that one go.
Yeah, I mean, on the side of Rackham, the moment... I don't know how to say that name. Yvette?
Yvette?
Yvette. Okay,
Maybe.
we'll go with Yvette.
That's the only thing I figured.
The moment he was hooked and you know there's no flash, like, you just throw out your slow and you try and just call it a day from a safe distance. He got way too close. He got hit by the trap. That was absolute disaster.
And now, due to that kind of unfortunate trade they had there, Twitch still only has a call compared to Caitlyn's BF sword. So it is not a good time to be a sneak rat.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially considering that when it comes to playing Twitch, it's very potent, especially in team fights. It's very potent at flanking. You can't afford to fall behind early. It doesn't work that well with Twitch. He has a hard time recovering, especially when your enemy laner is just snowballing ahead of you.
Especially when that enemy laner is Caitlyn, who is regarded as probably the strongest AD carry right now. She just...
And we do see a shockwave come out. Color C is trying to run away, able to survive, actually. Didn't burn Ghost as well, so he does have one summoner spell left, but the most crucial of the summoner spells is down.
I was a little bit worried there. That's why I kind of cut off abruptly. But Color C made it out. Yeah, that's fine.
Here we go, Death Sentence onto Purring, trying to get the gank into the bot lane. Flash burn on the side of Dezdan, but Color C might be caught out, does use the ultimate. The barrier has been used, the stun's out. Will he be able to survive? Yes, Color C picks off the Bashful Bard.
And that is the power of the Chaos Storm. So they made it so that Chaos Storm ticks slower, but the ticks are stronger, I believe. And that's... That one tick did a significant amount of damage to this Orianna, and that was the end.
Yeah, that damage is no joke. Even though he's nerfed, still works out decently overall. I mean, if you can play a champion, it doesn't matter what patch you're playing him on. You can play that champion.
Yeah, I agree.
So this is definitely something that team chemistry needed. It was already looking kind of grim in the bot lane, but the fact that Color C is able to do things in the mid lane. Victor is one of those good team fighting carries. Be very useful for the success of team chemistry if they can pull this out.
Yeah, I think honestly, this Elise should play or try to play around Color C as much as possible. JLC made a very good analysis there. I think Color C is probably their way to victory in this one, and I need to play around it, but that might not happen.
And it's stuff like that cannot happen. Purring getting a little bit too far forward, gets picked off by the Bashful Bard, and now Rackam trying to use the spray and pray, but there's not much escape from the onslaught that's about to land. A double kill picked up on the side of the Bashful Bard, and now look, it might be a triple. Here comes Color C, but why are you here? Ace in the hole lands, and that's a dead Color C. 3 picked up for nothing.
Oh man, I don't want to say it, but this looks over already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very questionable move for Color C to go down there, especially when the damage was already done. They lost, they lost Rackham, they lost Purring, but the Color C still decided to go down there. He's not going to get anything for it. It's better to play safe, better to farm up. Costed him greatly. Yeah,
it's... When you see your team and they're pretty much already dead, generally, and your mid lane and your opponent is gone from their lane, it's generally better to shove in that lane, push it out, and get as much back for your team as possible. And that just didn't happen. Of course, he chose to go down to that and just gave up a free kill. Yeah, this top lane is not looking like a good time for Corpin here.
And on that note, to really note that for Free Baron, both the top and bot are winning by large margins. So even if the Color C can get ahead, he is fighting a very, very difficult uphill battle.
So, you want to retract your guess from earlier about who would win?
No, I mean, I'm sticking it out.
Man, you have more faith than I do, my friend.
We do have a slow, no spray and pray used. Both the barrier and the flash are up for Bashful Bard, so it's not exactly going to be the easiest lane to gank.
Especially something as safe as an Orianna, who has a lot of turn potential, so I'd be even scared going up to her at this point.
Yeah, we are going to see a roam come out, but instantly abandoned.
You know, I hate to compare it to anything that I would do, but never mind.
Yeah, right away we see more bodies hitting the floor. Oh, it's not looking good for team chemistry whatsoever.
But like I was going to say, the roam that Color C attempted to make there is something I used to would do, but oftentimes you're just better just staying in your lane and not allowing anything else to come from possibly bad positioning.
Here we go. we might have an engage onto Color C, able to get away faster.
Did I say Killer Z? Did I say Killer Z? Is Killer Z in this game now?
Yeah, apparently is.
Well. Color C.
So, oh, here we go again. Color C being engaged on. Here comes the hero's entrance. Forces the flash out of Nyoto. Bashful Bard gets a great shockwave on the Color C. Is it going to be enough? Here comes the flash cocoon. Will he drop? He does. Bashful Bard goes down to Purring. But Nyoto wants a piece of Purring. Chooses to back off as the too much pressure on the side of Team Chemistry. But it is something they needed.
But meanwhile, up top side, Loudys just had free roam and continuing to increase that farm lead. Gonna hopefully get a little bit of pressure on this tower.
Oh, and the flash death sentence onto Rackham, forcing the flash out of Rackham. And honestly, I would take a flash for my support for the flash of the enemy ADC any day of the week.
Especially with something like Thresh, you can kind of afford to take those trades.
And I'm just going to go back to questioning the call.
I mean, you really don't like it.
I don't like it in this situation. Like, you could argue for it all you want, but at the very least, a Doran shield in this lane. You got two ranged supports and one of the most oppressive supports. Speaking of that, look at what's happening to your support. Like, we're starting to see the CS differential come into play. It's only at 12. It's not too bad, but with 2 deaths and 4 kills on the enemy ADC, oh my goodness, the pain is just immense.
Yeah, I think we're really starting to see why Chemistry has been struggling this season. There's a lot of issues that I'm seeing that need to be corrected.
And look at this. Rackham goes straight into the enemy's arms, gets chopped up and slammed by Bashful Bard.
It's just kind of casually walked by and said, hey. Oh, that was silly.
Oh, yeah.
And that's... Oh, man.
You can just see Team Chemistry's flaws. And they are really showing. It's really poor decision making. It all started with the call.
Just look at the vision in the river for Free Baron as compared to Chemistry. Like, that's insane.
I mean, on the side of Chemistry, it feels like most of the warding is coming out from Purring. We do have Ace in the Hole go out. Color C able to survive for now. Gets away, walks into backup. That is Purring ready to help him out. But yeah, it feels like most of the warding is coming from the side of Purring. You know, it's that jungle side, it's those deep wards. But look at the pink wards. We have 4 on the side of Free Baron. That means their team is really contributing to Vision as a whole.
Look how close we are to a Flame Horizon, my friend.
Oh, goodness. Tobin. Yeah, 16-minute Flame Horizon is pretty depressing.
That really is. Oh boy, this is nothing short of a stomp so far.
Yeah, and right away, Sealdad looking to deny that vision. So the small vision plays like Chemistry is already getting taken off the map because of how active this team is being about the vision control game. We are going to see a turret fall that is solo turret gold, not first turret, but still 350 in the pocket of Tobin, who's almost Flame Horizoned his counterpart. That's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and nobody's even gone near this Lowy so far. Yeah, definitely commanding a strong presence on this in this game right now.
I mean, can you even blame them? That is one scary tentacle lady. Most CS in the game by a lot, too.
Yeah, a significant amount. He might Miji, but Thresh does have a fairly high attack speed, just as a base.
So they're looking up to set up the ARAM game in the mid lane, and this is something we see way too many Dragon League teams do. They're kind of not really taking advantage of what they have. I mean, they could try and ARAM all they want, but Color C as well as Yvette have pretty good wave clear. So they are starting to split up now, which is the wise thing to do. Keep that farm advantage going, keep the pressure up on all lanes.
Interesting. Kind of left the Alawi clone thing there. Didn't really hit it. But yeah, you're not going to siege into a Victor and a Galio, so that I don't see any point in ARAMing against this kind of team.
And right now, Free Baron have slowed down the game as compared to the piece they were going before, but they are playing it right. In the whole scheme of things, they're looking to deny vision. They're looking to find picks utilizing that vision. And that's the right thing to do, and we see it right here. That denial of vision is the reason why Color C is in a bad situation. He is able to get out, but without having Color C there, they might look to just siege up this mid tower.
I feel like they just need to take a objective of some sort. Maybe not necessarily the mid tower if they can't get it.
I mean, it does look like they're going to get it. They're also going to get Yvette, and the shockwave goes out and blows up Yvette. Bashful Bard coming up big. A lot of damage on the Color C. Ace in the hole, finishes them off.
That's unfortunate if you are Color C. That was a lot of damage. I think that was a crit off the headshot from Caitlyn.
Yeah, absolutely nasty. And that was it right there. That vision they played earlier got Color C away from the tower, and there's another hook, plays them forward.
What were you doing?
Yeah, I guess not all decisions could be perfect.
The flay forward was bad, but why is the Elise just standing there?
Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, we are at 3-0 in towers, and Tobin is 1 CS away from the Flame Horizon, and there it is. Tobin absolutely destroying his lane opponent, Corpin.
We're definitely seeing as to why Team Chemistry only had 9 towers in 3 games last week.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. And decision making, it doesn't feel like these guys are a team. It honestly does feel like this is just a bunch of people that were put together in some, silver solo queue.
It's Stompy solo queue game right now. That's what I'm watching.
But meanwhile, on the side of Free Baron, they've acted as a team. They've done pretty good things as a team. You've seen a lot come out from the wave. They've moved around the map from the wave. They established vision. As I was pointing out earlier, the 4 pink wards, there's still 4 pink wards on the map. A little bit redundant use of the pink wards, but the fact that they're there means that this team really does value vision.
Yeah, that's a lot of. That's something that a lot of teams do not do. They don't rotate their vision, which is unfortunate. But there's still a few things I would like to see this Free Baron team work on. I want to see Steel Dad work on his plays. I want to see them try to take objectives instead of just ARAMing like they did a couple times. Rift Herald was there, the Dragon was there. Yeah, it was a Cloud Drake. It's unfortunate, but I just want to see them work on just really minor things. And I think they could go forward and being one of our stronger teams in the tournament.
And there we go again. They're working as a cohesive unit in establishing vision and denying vision. You had a 4-man squad there, looking to just deny vision, looking to try and gain control of the jungle to find their picks. So, I mean, the macro from this team really shows.
Yeah. Getting Flame Horizon on stream has to suck.
Absolutely, yeah. So now we're in a situation where Team Chemistry looks like they're just too far behind and too far gone
Baron.
to come back. And now we do have the Baron call coming out from 3 Baron, go figure with their name. And it's looking absolutely just like that. There's no vision. Vision's been absolutely denied. It's
They have no idea.
for 3 Baron.
I have zero idea that this is happening right now. Man. This is just systematic destruction.
Yeah. And, oof, man. I haven't seen a pounding this bad since Rift Rivals group stage of NA versus EU.
Any EU game in general at Rift Rivals. Oh man, that feels so good to say. I was wanting to make that joke from the beginning. I was trying to find a spot to say it, but oh man, does it feel good right now.
So here we go again. Sealdad looking for that vision control, looking to establish as much vision as possible. They've already used it perfectly to get their objective, which was the Baron. Now, what objective do you think they're going to siege up for next?
It looks like they might spread out the team a little bit. I do think that there's probably nobody that can really 1v1 almost anybody at this point, exception being maybe Color C, but we'll see.
Here we go, Rackham.
And they just have a free track on the inside of that mid lane.
Absolutely, they got so much damage off. And what were Team Chemistry doing? It looked like they were going after a blue buff, but why? Why do you need that many players?
I have no idea.
You see, this is not the siege you want to do. What they're doing with Tobin is one of the correct things to do, but I do believe they need to go for the 1-3-1 if they want to close this out.
Yeah, Victor offers so much wave clear. Not sure that I really agree with the Rylai's. Ever since it was changed a while back, I haven't really built it on Victor. But that's just me. That's just a thing that I do. Orianna also has the Rylai's, and I really disagree with that. But
Rylai's versus Rylai's. Very interesting. We do see that the ultimate was forced out from the vet, the Stranglethorns. Not really getting anything, but it did deny the tower going down. But at the end of the day, that tower is going to go down no matter what. And we do got a hook. It lands flush onto Color C. Color C gets annihilated. Shockwave lands. This looks disastrous for Team Chemistry as we see another one fall. Heroic entrance comes in, but what are you gonna do? You can't hero that one. Bashful Bard looking to pick up anything he can, but with the Galio gone from the top lane, we do know that Tobin has free reign on that tower. And here comes a great Cocoon drops pocket cookies. Now Bashful Bard try to get out of a bad situation, picks up a vet on the back end before dropping to Burring. And in all honesty, that was the best of a bad situation. They are going to lose that top tower, but they got something out of it.
yeah, I guess, you know, it's just really not looking good here for this Chemistry squad. Lack thereof, rather. Team lack of chemistry. Haha.
Oh. And I mean, you gotta give a lot of points. Like, if I had to vote for an MVP right now, it would definitely be Sealdad. The guy snowballed his bot lane with some very key hooks, but he's also been establishing some of the most ridiculous vision I've seen in a Dragon League game.
Yeah, I will agree. Flays have left something to be desired, but I will forgive him for that. I will forgive him for that. But yeah, been a pretty solid player so far.
So far, that pretty big pickup, and oh god, triple down. That's the dream right there.
Freak eats your heart out.
Yeah, with that pretty clean pickup. Not clean, that was a messy pickup. The pretty messy pickup. It does give some breathing room on the side of Team Chemistry, but they still can't really take any fights straight on. They have to be, they definitely can't be doing this. Hero's entrance goes out, Shockwave whiffs. That's a window of opportunity to look to take a fight. Will Color C go for it? Shockwave is down. Bashful Bard getting a little bit too close. A great Lantern saves him for now, and there goes another death sentence. But unfortunately, they can't save Corbin. Corbin drops, and Yodo going in. Color C is going to look to drop. There's a headshot. There's so much damage. And there are 2 dead carries, 3 dead carries. Yvette's going to drop next, and that's going to be the ace picked up for Free Baron.
Yeah, man. I see very little redeeming qualities in this game so far for team chemistry. They just there are fundamental problems here.
Yeah, they need to start playing as a team. That's it. They need to work together. I mean, we're looking at these results, and just look at the goal. Really, I want to point out to you, Tobin. He has no kills. He has no assists.
He wasn't even in that fight.
Yeah, he wasn't in that fight. A fight that Team Chemistry should have won. Tobin was not there. And yet he's the most terrifying character on Free Baron. Wasn't in the fight, and they still got crushed.
He wasn't. They didn't have their Alawi. They whiffed the shockwave, and they still got an ace. If that doesn't say it, then I don't know what does. So is this pacifist Alawi?
Yeah. Farmer Girl Alawi.
New skin coming to you.
0 kill participation.
I'll tell you what he is for participating in, which is farm.
Yeah, I mean, you could call him out on the 0, but at the end of the day, that base is in shambles more so because of him.
Yeah.
I'm actually really hoping he ends on a 0-0-0.
Yeah, I kind of do too. But Chemistry has taken 0 towers this game.
0 towers, 0 dragons, 0 hope of surviving this one. And there is the play used, but not to much success. And we see Corbin looking to go in. Tobin's going to get his first kill or possibly assist in the game. And there it is. It's an assist. Yodo goes in, going after Rackham, gets dropped. 0 kill Alawi, 0-0-3, 30 minutes into the game. The first leap of faith used all game. And Free Baron takes game 1 of this best of 3 series.
Owen ruined his score. That was just a dominant game. I have nothing else to say to that. This damage chart is going to be interesting, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately for me, I don't have a layout for the damage chart, so I just have to say it. Interesting changes to Ascension eSports. In the damage chart, it's actually mostly all on Pocket Cookies. Pocket Cookies, 14k damage, and that's not even much damage for a 30
No, it's not. It almost tripling his counterpart of the Twitch. That's disgusting. That is why Caitlyn is banned, folks.
Yeah, it's not even just the Caitlyn. Like, a lot of this came from Seal Daddy, which brings us to who I would call player of the game. Obviously,
oh yeah, no, most definitely. Most definitely. Very strong Thresh. Work on the flays. That's all I got.
Yeah, on that note, we are going to be taking a short break. Game 1 going to Free Baron in a very dominant fashion. Will Team Chemistry be able to answer? It's looking very grim, but we'll see if they have anything left in them when we get back from this break.